The Bluey movie is going to be different from everything you know about the Healer family, but will fans enjoy Bluey's new adventure on the big screen? Villain. The Bluey series doesn't have any villains, but we are absolutely certain that this new Bluey movie will introduce an antagonist as the main problem of the story. And even though our team is not working on the movie, this is a theory you can consider almost guaranteed. The truth is that if a movie is going to be released in theaters and it's going to be over an hour long, fans need a story to watch, right? Bluey and Bingo will need to solve a big problem, and that problem needs to last for at least an hour of the movie. Do you see what we mean? It's almost certain that this challenge will be a terrible villain who will make life difficult for the Healer family, someone who dreams of putting an end to Bluey's fun, and we have a suspicion about who it might be. That elderly pug who bought Granny Mobile from Bluey's neighbor. Thanks to Muffin, she ended up paying a very high price, and because of that, she'll probably want revenge on the little pups. Will that really happen? It's a risky move to put an evil dog in the movie, but it could work perfectly. What do you think? Let's talk more about this movie right now. You already know, right? Another Cinewave is starting. Teenager. Another difference between the movie and the animated series is the age of Bluey and her friends. The truth is that there are several rumors online about this movie featuring a time skip that makes Bluey older, and that's because we already know what the creators have planned for the future of the series. Bluey is going to get married and have a daughter, as we already saw in the final episode of season 3. Isn't it interesting that the last scene we see in the series shows the main character as an adult with a daughter? That is definitely a clue about the future, especially because we will only see the continuation of the story in the movie and not in the episodes of season 4. If you didn't understand, it's very simple. The movie will be released before season 4, which is why it serves as the bridge between Bluey's old phase and her new one. A phase where she will have new friends, more challenges, and more problems to solve, including the beginning of her love life. Are you excited about that? We definitely are. Friends. But there's also a difference that might be a little sad. Not all of Bluey's friends are expected to appear in this movie, and there are several reasons for that. There are approximately 100 characters in the world of the little Healer pup. There's simply no way to show all of them, and the focus of the story will be the Healer family. Because of that, you won't see some of your favorite characters, so pay close attention because we're going to show you which ones are most likely to be part of the story. Of course, you can expect the entire main family to appear: Bandit, Chilli, Bluey, and Bingo, along with the protagonist's closest friends who are the most likely to show up: Chloe, Coco, and Mackenzie. These are the easiest characters to include in the movie because they are Bluey's closest friends, but there are other characters who will probably have smaller roles. Calypso is one of them, and Bluey's uncles, aunts, and cousins are likely included as well, but don't expect to see the Terriers or Winton, since they aren't that close to Bluey. Indy and Rusty will probably be in the movie because they are good friends, but you can probably forget about Jack Russell, and we're betting that Bingo's classmates such as Jasper, Juniper, and Lila will be left out. Of course, we're basing this on how often these characters appear in the series, but who knows, maybe the movie will surprise us. What do you think about our list? Growing apart. Another difference between the movie and the series is the relationship between Bluey and Bingo. You know that in the show they are not only sisters but also best friends, but that is something that may be about to change. Relax, it really is shocking to think about, but it's actually for the best. The truth is that as people grow up, they develop something called identity. We're talking about their personality and personal interests. Bluey and Bingo are sisters, but at the same time, they are different little pups. You don't need to be sad or worried about it. Bluey will like things that Bingo doesn't like, and that could separate them for a while. They will still be very close because they are sisters, but don't fool yourself. This movie will show something that happens in everyone's life. Bluey will have one life, and Bingo will have another. It happens to all siblings. Would you like to be Bluey's friend forever? Comment the hashtag Bluey so we can get to know you. Mackenzie. Speaking of the life that the main character will have in the future, this movie will definitely explore Mackenzie's relationship with Bluey. The two little pups seem destined to be together, and as we already explained, this new development will likely involve a time skip. There are several episodes that hint at their future relationship. One example is the episode Fruit Bat, where Bluey dreams about Mackenzie, and the whole theme of her dream revolves around things she wishes for. Or the episode Barky Boats, where the theme of the story was first love and the relationship between the two little pups. Because of that, you can be sure that one thing this movie may show is a time skip, revealing the beginning of the romance between the Blue Healer and the Border Collie. Do you like this couple? Jean-Luc. If you have a different opinion, then you should know that Jean-Luc is likely to appear in this new movie as well. There are still many people who dream of seeing Bluey in a relationship with Jean-Luc, and that is definitely possible. Of course, our prediction is that Jean-Luc will be Bluey's first boyfriend, but that they will follow different paths in the future. After all, they live in different countries, and maybe that will be the movie's story, the beginning and the end of Bluey and Jean-Luc Jean-Luc's love story, before she eventually grows closer to Mackenzie. One thing we do know is that the Canadian Labrador learns to speak English just because he wants to talk to Bluey. That's incredibly romantic, and we should get to see the results of Jean-Luc's effort in the movie. Cats. Do you remember the episode Turtle Boy, when Bingo wanted nothing more than to watch television until Bandit took his daughter to the park? One detail that almost nobody notices in that episode is that it proves cats exist. While Bingo is watching television, we can see a few little cats riding motorcycles, and that is proof that in Bluey's world, dogs are not the only animals that behave like people. Our theory is that the city of Brisbane, where the series takes place, is a city populated only by dogs, but there is a chance that other cities are inhabited by different kinds of animals, just like in Zootopia. Now, in the new movie, we might get the chance to meet a new friend for Bluey, a feline who moves to their city and feels lonely because he is the only little cat in a city full of dogs. That could make for a great story, don't you think? We're excited to see what the creators decide to do. Loss. As we already explained, this movie is expected to feature a time skip, and that means Bluey will be more mature. One thing that could happen is the death of a character. You know that Chilli's father, Grandpa Mort, has heart problems. Meanwhile, Bandit's father, Grandpa Bob, may have some kind of memory-related illness since he forgets things very easily. That kind of detail could be a clue that, in the movie, one of Bluey's grandpas may pass away, forcing her to deal with the grief of losing one of them. If Bluey grows up, one of the things she will experience is exactly that, how some people leave our lives. Our guess is that it could be Grandpa Bob, because that would explain a trip the Healer family might take to India to say goodbye to him. Bandit's father has a strong connection to that country, and because of that, if Bluey and the entire family travel to India to find what Grandpa Bob went there looking for, as he once said, it would be quite an adventure for the main character's family. There's a new video here every day, so subscribe and hit the bell to stay up to date. 3D. You already know that this movie is going to be in 3D, right? In other words, things will look more digital, like Pixar movies, rather than hand-drawn like they do in most of the series. Now, one thing we've been thinking about is that this could be Bluey's biggest change moving forward. Let's think about how this could completely transform the show. If the movie is in 3D, then the entire visual style of the series could change as well. Bluey's house is a perfect example. Everyone has always wanted to know exactly where all the objects inside the little pup's house are located, and now with a 3D map, that could finally happen. We'll get a much better sense of the size of the house, the toys, and the furniture in Bluey's home. That sounds pretty fun, don't you think? We also want to know whether the series itself will switch to 3D starting with season 4. What do you think? Music. Another difference between the movie and the series is that in theaters, we're probably going to hear songs that were created specifically for the film. Geoff Bush, who is the main composer behind the show, is also responsible for the soundtrack of Bluey's first movie. But we believe one of the biggest changes will be the music itself. We think the songs will have lyrics, like full musical numbers with instruments and someone singing. After all, we're talking about a Disney movie, and that's exactly the kind of thing Disney Studios are known for bringing to audiences. Can you name a Disney movie that doesn't have a song? Don't even bother looking for one, because it doesn't exist. If Disney is releasing a Bluey movie in theaters, then you can definitely expect at least one special song created just for the film. Chilli. And another thing that could happen is that this movie won't just move forward in time, it may also move backward. That's exactly what you heard. There are still many questions from the past that need answers, especially regarding Chilli's childhood and her relationship with her mother, who sadly passed away from an illness when Chilli was very young. Let's remember that one thing this movie could show us is how Chilli learned to cope with the loss of her mother and how she might teach her daughter to face the same kind of hardship. Because, as we mentioned before, Bluey and Bingo may experience a major loss in this movie. What do you think about that? We'll have to wait until next year to find out, but until then, make sure you stick with us. We've left 2 videos on your screen so you can choose and keep having fun with us. See you in the next video!